Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. One item on the agenda is a presentation on energy efficiency, ENE Energy Advisors. And we're going to get our presentation from Rick and Mike. Okay. We'll go on the audience and watch.
Can you get that mic all right? Can you get that up there all right?
Good evening. I'm Mike Davey with Energy Efficient Investments.
Rick Pembroke, Chief Financial Officer of the Supervisory Region.
We're presenting on the proposed energy efficiency renovation to the three schools in the Bennington School District. My company, Energy Efficient Investments, is located in Merrimack, New Hampshire, and we've been working on energy efficiency projects through school districts throughout New England, including a recent project with the Hanover and Norwich, Vermont school systems, which was a comprehensive renovation to three of their facilities. We've spent the last year working on an energy study on the three schools here in Bennington, and the results of which were an energy efficiency project, which was voted on and approved by the school board for vote this March to do an energy efficiency upgrades to all three facilities.
And we're here tonight as an informational meeting on Article C of the school ballot, which is seeking permission from the voters to bond or lease for $14.461, I believe, million dollars to do these projects.
I think it's 4.61.
4.4.
Yeah, sorry, 4.4. Sorry. Can we get the next slide?
Well, yeah, I think so.
This is a comprehensive project which is proposed to standardize equipment and heating systems throughout the schools. What we found is that most of the systems were installed in the 1970s. They're classroom unit ventilators. Those components are at the end of their life. In this school in particular, we noticed that a lot of times to ventilate and cool off the spaces, windows are open. So there's a photograph of that above, that ventilation is the heat. We tend to overheat the building with the steam heat system here and then open the windows to cool the space down. So this photo was from a 33-degree day in which the windows were open throughout the school because the steam heating system tends to overheat it. So the proposed project is to replace all the classroom unit ventilators. You can go to the next one. With centralized ERV systems, remove steam heating from all the schools, and put in high efficiency hot water heating. One of the things that we noticed in this photo is from the Monument School is that the units are so loud, the teachers have been shutting them off during the day. So there's a note in the left-hand corner to please turn on before leaving. So they leave the heating system off all during the day, then they turn it on to heat up the space when they're gone, and then shut it off during the classroom because they're so loud and inefficient. That's been disruptive to the learning environments throughout the three schools. So what we're proposing is putting rooftop or attic units, depending on the school, which will be centralized ventilation units, and rather than bringing in outside air, heating it up, and then exhausting it, which we're currently doing, all of these units will have energy ventilation wheels, which will preheat the incoming air with the exhaust stream leaving the air. That's more efficient, and it's a better quality air systems. As we mentioned, a lot of the systems are from the 1970s. The newer boilers are more than 20 years old, and those are located in this school, and they're steam. The Molly Stark and the Monument boilers are between 40 and 20 years old, and then all the equipment in the classroom is really from the 70s. Some of the equipment installed in 1979 is referred to as the new equipment. So all of these items have ended, are past their useful life. So when we talked with the school board, there's many different ways to get toward energy efficiency and to upgrade these. One is to just do planned replacements over the years and set aside a budget, which would be variable every year. Another way is to do a comprehensive project, standardize equipment, and get to high efficiency items. Because you have steam heat in most of the buildings, that means that if a boiler were to break tomorrow, for example, you would have to replace it with a steam boiler, and then you're trapped for another 20 years with the steam system. So this is a proposed renovation to get away from steam, go to high efficiency propane boilers, which are up to 97% efficient. They're quiet, reliable, and it'll be standardized throughout the schools. The complaints we heard were that the rooms are drafty. That's especially in this school, and the equipment is very loud. Inconsistent temperatures. The steam heating systems tend to overheat the school in the morning. Windows opened up, and then it's cold by the afternoon. And teachers have to work around these deficiencies by shutting off the heating equipment during the day, and they frequently need to be maintained and repaired. So at each school, in Bennington Elementary specifically, we're going to get rid of the steam systems, put in high efficiency boilers, go to LED lighting throughout the school, double pane windows for more than half the school, and installing digital controls in each school. Monument, again, will have high efficiency boilers, radiant heat and ERVs, LED lighting, and digital controls. And Molly Stark, Molly Stark is a hodgepodge with 3 separate boiler plants. We're going to consolidate the boiler plants to a single hot water boiler plant, remove the energy efficiency ventilators, and install LED lighting and controls there as well. The summary of this project is significant reduction in the energy consumption, decreased maintenance and repairs, and a healthier, quieter learning environment for students and faculty.
So the financing piece of this project is we're looking to borrow $4,461,000 over a 15-year term. Current interest rates are around 2.3, 2.4%. Working with various lenders, including the Vermont Bond Bank, we've all agreed that interest rate of 2.63 would be more than sufficient forecasting number to plan for. We should receive some financing, hopefully better than that. The cash flow of the project, the blue bar is this energy and maintenance savings that we will see. You can see there in year 1 that we're cash flow positive to the tune of about $80,000. The second year in, we start paying principal on the bond, so we're negative cash flow until fiscal year 32, when the loan is paid off, the bond is paid off, and then we are cash flow positive there on out. The tax impact on a $100,000 home, again, this would not be this coming tax bill, but your fall of 2017 tax bill. It'll be $12.61 on a $100,000 home, and it'll decline from that point. After 15 years of debt service, you will actually see a reduction theoretically in your tax rate through the energy savings that we'll be experiencing in the district. In summary, it's a proactive financing plan to replace some very dated systems. If we don't do this, the school system and the taxpayers will experience significant spikes over the next few years, because we'll have to replace these systems anyway. There's some 40-year-old equipment in here that we've been postponing for various reasons, but now we've decided, the board has decided that these plants will be used for the foreseeable future, so it's time to upgrade them. We're looking at over $150,000 in savings. We're going to receive some rebates from Efficiency Vermont for the electricity upgrades we're putting in. Again, I talked about the tax impact on a $100,000 home, and we used for an inflation factor 2.5% inflation on energy, which I think is pretty reasonable, and it's actually fairly conservative from my perspective. Are there any questions from? Okay.
I was just wanted to mention that there were 3 boilers in Molly Stark.
I'm going to repeat the question.
3 boilers in Molly Stark.
Is it possible that they remove 3 and place 1, that they would do have that cool space? It seems like it's on a slab, there's no cellar there, is
No, it's on a slab, yep. And sorry.
Better repeat the question.
Sorry, the question would be, can we gain space when we reduce the 3 boiler rooms? And the answer to that is yes. Space will be gained. What could be done with that space? Those boiler rooms are fairly small right now, so it's more likely it would be a storage, at best a small office could be gained from it.
Jackie? You can? It would save us from repeating it.
You speak about the tax, and what I'd like to know is the tax on this project included in our present budget? In other words, is it a separate tax, or is it included in the present school budget?
When you say present, you mean the one that's proposed for next year?
Correct.
It's actually a savings next year. If this passes and we implement this project, we will see over $175,000 of savings and rebate against roughly a $90,000 interest bill. So there's actually going to be a cost savings in next year. It'll be a tax impact the following year, which you will then build into that budget when you draft that budget.
So when the voters vote on March 1st, they're not voting on a separate tax, they're voting on our present budget, correct? Okay.
And actually, it's a good segue or a good reminder. Part of the new Act 46 law requires us on the ballot to identify what the cost impact will be to the taxpayer. And when you look at the ballot, it reads it'll have no impact. Now that's just for next year. The following year in FY18, there will be that $12.61 impacts, assuming everything else stays the same.
It's just a little misleading when you say it will add $12.61. It's just a little misleading. Maybe you could put it,
I thought,
include it in your present.
yeah, I thought we put in 2017, but if I didn't, I apologize. Any other questions?
Rick, my question is pertaining to the percentage on the loan. You're negotiating with all the banks, and are you confident that the rate you projected tonight is the most it can be, or is there a chance that it can be? In other words, you get the question I'm trying to get.
Yeah. If I could guarantee you what interest rates would be next August, I wouldn't be sitting here today right now.
Yeah. Well, in other words,
but I understand the question. It's we structured the question on the ballot that gives us the flexibility to either bond or lease this project. This project, because of all the equipment that's involved, qualifies for a long-term lease, which also comes through a bank. It's basically another form of borrowing. And in doing the due diligence for this project, I talked to the Vermont Bond Bank. I talked to one bank, I'll be honest with you, one bank, and I talked to a leasing company. And the three of them are all giving me interest rates in the neighborhood of 4.5%. We're calculated at 4.63 because that's what the bond bank recommended it may be in the summer when this goes out to bond. So I wanted to take that worst case scenario. If this passes Tuesday, well, actually, before I go there, I had 2 phone calls today, one from a leasing company and one from a bank saying, you know, are we still in the running for this? So there's interest out there for our business. If this passes Tuesday, we will put out a formal RFP to all the banks and all the leasing companies, as well as the bond bank, to get the best rate we can get. But there's no sense in us doing that now. A, we don't know if the voters will support it, and B, until I have a real project to put in front of a lender for an RFP, they're just giving me ballpark numbers as well. But we will get competitive prices before it's all done.
Thanks.
Anyone from the back down there? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, if you want to close the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.